It's time we open up the halls of the Hall of Fame once again and talk about the next inductee. The next inductee into the Hall of Fame is the man from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, Terry Funk. Terry Funk is one of many second generation athletes started getting his start and being widely known for his time in the Amarillo territory under his dad, Dory Sr. Dory Sr. was one of the top athletes of the day, and his brother, Dory Jr., is a former NWA World's Champion. To my knowledge, Dory and Terry are the only brother combo to win the NWA World's Championship. And the fact of the matter is, Terry Funk is one of the only people, in my opinion, that was a star, a bankable star, for over 40 years. Well, actually, probably over 30 years. Because, I would say it was a bankable star at least once or twice in the 2000s. But from the 70s, 80s, 90s, Terry Funk was one of the premier names in the wrestling business. But the one thing that the Funker became known for, is never staying in one territory for too long. He worked everywhere he could possibly get to, and became a star everywhere he could. From his feuds with his brother, teaming with his brother against the Briscoes, Jack and Jerry in Florida and all over the South, to tearing down the house with Jerry the King Lawler inside an empty arena in Memphis. And then off to Charlotte to have his back and forth with Ric Flair after pile driving him on the table following the end of Flair's back and forth legendary trio of matches with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. The fact of the matter is, Terry Funk was a legend, even before he retired. Terry Funk then, around the time he walked away from Crockett Promotions, or WCW, he made his way to Eastern Championship Wrestling and started competing for the NWA again, this time in South Philadelphia. He set the motif with Sabu and Shane Douglas on the night the line was crossed, with a three-way dance for the ages, setting the franchise on a collision course with history in ECW, becoming the man that he was because of willingness from Terry Funk to make someone famous. And it wasn't just the franchise that Terry Funk made famous. Tommy Dreamer, Raven, the Sandman, and with Terry Funk's help, ECW became a revolution in the 1990s. I still remember watching Barely Legal, not in 1997, but I remember watching Barely Legal and watching Terry Funk win the belt, and the emotion, not just on Funk's face, but with Tommy Dreamer, and you could hear it in Joey Styles' face. Thinking about it makes me get goosebumps. Thinking about it just is enough to make me get goosebumps. The fact that the arena lost power within minutes after the show going off the air is complete ECW. The fact of the matter is, Terry Funk is a legend. And then he made his return, he made his move to the WWE to get a run in the WWE. It started He made an appearance at Amarillo in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome at the 1997 Royal Rumble, and then was in the 1998 Royal Rumble. He spent time with Mick Foley, teaming with his protege. After the two of them tore down the house every night in the King of the Deathmatch tournament in Japan, and would tear each other apart from pillar to post, from continent to continent. They would do anything and everything they could to maim each other, but they earned each other's respect. Though Terry Funk was not the man he was in WCW when he made the move to WWE, he still was a legend that earned the ability to be in WWE and do whatever the hell he wanted because of everything that he gave the wrestling business from that point, or up to that point. Funk had his WrestleMania moment, which is something that not everyone can say that they have the opportunity to have. Not everyone gets a WrestleMania moment, but Funk got it at WrestleMania 14 when he, alongside Mick Foley, beat the New Age Outlaws in a dumpster match. Whether or not it was something to write home about, because Terry Funk and Mick Foley had to drop the titles the next day back to the Outlaws after WrestleMania, he still got his moment. Funk would spend time in WCW after leaving ECW and WWE. He hit the trifecta during the Monday Night Wars of being everywhere he could during the Monday Night Wars. And nothing beats Terry Funk in that hardcore match with Norman Smiley, where he gets kicked by a horse during the match when they were at a horse farm. Terry Funk had a legendary, iconic career because you have to be middle-aged and crazy. You have to be middle-aged and crazy to be willing to still step in that ring at 70 plus years old and still be doing moonsaults. And still be doing moonsaults at 70 years old. But Terry Funk did exactly that. Generations were able to enjoy Terry Funk before he stepped away from the wrestling business. And now, because of YouTube, generations can still enjoy Terry Funk. Terry Funk is somebody that holds a special place for me because I've talked about it before, and you see the back wall. The thing in the middle of that back wall is one of my first pieces of memorabilia. The fact of the matter is, back when I was in middle school, I do believe I sent out letters to wrestlers looking for autographs. And only 2 out of, I believe, 5 responded back. Terry Funk was one of them. Jim Duggan was the other. I set up the Hall of Fame this year for Wrestling Express with the intention of righting wrongs. And I know that there's a good possibility that somebody could say, well, if you would have replaced Terry Funk with someone else, if you would have put Terry Funk in the Hall of Fame, who would you have taken out? That's a good question. I don't know, because I thought I've done pretty well with the Hall of Fame thus far. But the fact of the matter is, due to that frame right in the middle of the back wall that I'm trying to point at, that frame in the middle of the back wall, that 8x10 frame in the middle of the back wall, there's honestly only one thing I can say to that, and that is, thank you. Thank you, Terry Funk. Because had you not responded, I would have only gotten the autograph back from Hacksaw. The fact of the matter is, the reason why that piece, the reason why that piece is different, the reason why that piece is unique, is because it's a personalized letter from Terry Funk, thanking me for being a fan. But what I have to say is thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry, for everything you did for the wrestling business. Thank you, Terry, for everything you gave to the wrestling business. And thank you, Terry Funk, for being who you are. Because the fact of the matter is, you have to be a little bit middle-aged and crazy to do what Terry Funk did and give everything that he did to this business. Thank you for the memories, and though you might have been a little bit before my time, I was able to enjoy you before you hung it up. And I have nothing but the utmost respect for Terry Funk. I always will. And that's why, alongside that piece that I pointed to multiple times during this video, when I started collecting fully, the first piece that I got, the first piece, was an autographed magazine from, you guessed it, Terry Funk. Thank you, Terry. And gives me great pleasure to welcome the man from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas. And just the fact that I'm saying this gives me goosebumps, and I'm surprised that it does. But thank you, Terry Funk. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome Terry Funk into the Wrestling Express Hall of Fame, class of 2023. Thank you, Terry Funk. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this retrospective, and join me in welcoming once again Terry Funk into the Wrestling Express Hall of Fame.